Okay, we're going to practice on solving systems of equations by substitution. First off, we know already, I'll go back just a sec, let's see here. We know that we already have been solving systems of equations by the calculator and graphing. Calculator and graphing. Now, what did the equations have to look like when we did that? We had to move them around and put them into slope-intercept form, right? Didn't both of the equations have to be written in y equals form? Okay. When they're both written in y equals form, the easiest way to solve systems is by graphing or putting it in the calculator. Okay. But now we're going to see that we're going to have maybe one of our equations is going to be in standard form. And the other one, maybe the other one is already in slope-intercept form, okay? Now what we did in the last unit was we went through and we solved for y, and then that way we graphed both of them. You can always do that if it's, say it's on your EOC test or you're not, it's one of the problems and it doesn't say you specifically need to solve it a certain way. Okay, these are all different methods of coming up with the same type of answer, same answer. Okay, now we're going to learn one of the standards you have to know is solving by substitution, so you do have to know how to do it this way. Okay, but some people are going to find that the other ways are easier for them when it comes time for the EOC or other tests. Here's what you're going to, right here, what you're looking for is one of them is in slope-intercept form. So for example, if this was my problem, I would be finding what y equals right here, and I will be circling it. I'm going to substitute it and put it into the equation for y equals. So meaning like in a basketball game, if you substitute in for the game for somebody, do both people get to stay in the game? No. So I'm going to substitute x plus 3 in there for y. So I'm going to be removing that, and I'm going to be replacing it. Well, not with that, but with the x plus 3. Okay? Now, let's go back and let's do one of these problems right here. All right, I want you to write down this problem. Now, you're going to look and see. I have one of them that is in standard form. The other one, it's not in y equals form, but it does say x equals. So right here, you should circle what x equals. Now, this is saying put all of this into the other equation for x. So I'm going to go up here to x and put it in there. So I'm taking x out. So I'm going to rewrite this equation. Instead of x, I'm going to put y plus 15. And then I'm going to write the rest of this equation. Plus y equals 47. Okay, so all I did was take x out, replace it with y plus 15. Now I'm going to solve and find out what y is. So I'm going to put my y's together. I have 1y plus 1y, which gives me 2y plus 15 equals 47. Okay? I'm going to then subtract 15 from each side. I cancel these out, and I get 2y equals 32. 47 minus 15 is 32. I'm going to divide by 2. Y equals 16. Now, a lot of people are going to mess up because they're going to think they're done right here. You're not done. The solution of a system, right, is an ordered pair. So all I have right now is just the 16. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back up here. You can choose either one of the equations. It does not matter which one. I always tend to use the one that's already in x equals or y equals right here. So I'm going to bring this down here. I've got x plus y. Whoa, not plus. Going a little fast here. X equals y plus 15. Okay, all I did was rewrite the equation. We found y to be 16. I'm going to move this and put this in here for y. So I have x equals 16 plus 15. Well, x equals 16 plus 15 is 31. My solution is 31, 16. It's where the two lines intersect, and it's at that ordered pair. Yes, ma'am? You still get the same answer. That's what I was just going over by talking about the graphing. You can still get the same answer by going through and solving for y and putting them in the calculator, but you have to be able to do the standard. You have to be able to do it by substitution, so we're going to have to learn how to do it by substitution, okay? So it's not wrong to do it the other way if it just wanted you to find the answer. But if it's telling you to solve by substitution, you have to do it this way. So, looking at number 2, we should have this written down. You're going to go and look. Does one of my equations say y equals? Yes, it does. Circle the one that says y equals. Now, I'm going to draw a line and draw an arrow to my y. I'm going to substitute all of this in for my y. See, what I'm trying to do is get rid of one of the letters so that all I have is one of them. I don't have an x and a y. I just have, like in this case, I just have an x. So right here, I've got x plus, instead of y went away, and I have 2x plus 3 equals 36. Okay? So I have x plus 2x plus 3 equals 36. Now I need to combine my x's. Well, how many x's do I have right here? I have 1x and 2x, which is 3x plus 3, and that equals 36. Now, to solve, I need to finish this to figure out what x is. I'll subtract 3 from each side. I get 3x equals 33. Divide by 3. X equals 11. Now, that's not my answer. That's only part of my solution. Remember, I need x, then y. X is 11. I need to find out what my y is. So now, you have to wait. Now, I need to go and I need to figure out which one of these equations I'm going to use. I always use the one that says y equals. I'm going to put this here and I get y equals 2x plus 3. Y is 11, so I'm going to take this and put it in here for x. I get y equals 2 times 11 plus 3. Y equals 2 times 11 is 22 plus 3. Y equals 25. If you have questions as I'm going through this, you need to ask Coach right now while I'm videoing. Right here, write down number 3, please. Write down problem number 3. Now, to go back very quickly, guys, it should have been this right here. Now, number 3, write down the problem. What you're going to do, you're going to look, is one of the equations written in y equals or x equals form? Yes, it is. I have y equals right here, so I circle what y equals. I'm going to substitute it in here for y. Okay? So now, let's rewrite this bottom equation. I have negative 6x plus 5 times y. Well, y is this. So instead, I'm putting in there for y negative 3x plus 8. Finish the rest of the problem, equals 19. So all I did, this says 5 times y, I just went in and put it in there for the y. So 5 times all of this up here. Now, I'm going to bring down the negative 6x. This 5 is outside of the parentheses, so I'm going to multiply. You have to do the distributive property. I have 5 times negative 3x, which is negative 15x, 5 times 8, which is 40. That equals 19. Okay, now we're putting our x's together. Negative 6 minus 15 is negative 21x. Bring down the plus 40 equals 19. You subtract 40 from each side. I get negative 21x equals, oh, what is that? Negative 21, right? Divide by negative 21. What does x equal? X equals 1. My solution, I am not done. All I have is half of it. I need to find the y. I always go up here and I choose the one that says, it doesn't matter which one, but I always normally choose the one that's already written in y equals form. So I'm going to bring it over here and I get y equals negative 3x plus 8. X is 1. So I'm going to put this into the equation for x right there. Y equals negative 3 times x. X is 1. Plus 3, or I'm sorry, not plus 3, plus 8. What is negative 3 times 1? Negative 3. Bring down the plus 8. Negative 3 plus 8 is 5. My solution is 1, 5. This is where the two lines intersect. Right there, number 4. Write down number 4. Okay, so we write down, it is a lot of work to be able to go and write down all the steps to find where they intersect. So now that we have this, is one of my equations already written in x equals or y equals form? Yes, it is. I'm going to take the one that's in y equals form, I'm going to circle it. I'm going to substitute it into my other equation up here for y. So let me rewrite this. I'll put it over here. I've got 8x plus 7 times y. Instead of y, what am I putting in there instead? Negative 6x plus 5. And that equals 1. Now I need to solve. Well, the 8x is over here chilling by itself. I just bring it down. The 7 is outside the parentheses, so I take 7 times negative 6, x, negative 42x. 7 times 5 is 35, and it equals 1. My next step now is to put my x's together. They're on the same side of the equation, so I have 8 minus 42. What is that? Negative 36x. No. What, negative 34. Anybody paying attention? No, because it's 8 minus 42, so it's negative 34x plus 35 equals 1. Subtract 35 from each side. Negative 34x equals negative 34. See, solving by substitution is not something that's just going to come, it's going to click for people at different times. And you have to continually keep trying to figure it out. Once you figure out the key, then you'll be okay. You divide by negative 34, and I get x equals 1. My solution, x is 1, but I'm not done. I need to find y. Where did I get 1 from? Okay. Right here. Now I'm going to bring this equation down. Y equals negative 6x plus 5. Okay, well, we just found x to be 1. So I'm going to take this and put it right in here in replace of that. So I have y equals negative 6 instead of x. I'm putting in there 1 plus 5. Negative 6 times 1 is negative 6 plus 5. Y equals negative 1. So where the two lines intersect is 1, negative 1. Now, if you had solved both of these for y equals, if you found the top one and solved it for y and put it in the calculator, it would give you the same answer. Here's the next one. Write down this problem. I'm going to look now, and I have an equation that's written in y equals, so I'm going to circle what y equals. I'm going to substitute it in here for y. So now I have, so let me write it over here, negative 3x plus 5 times y. Instead of y, okay, see, look, I wrote this whole equation. See how these two things right here are the same? The only thing I did was take out the y, and I'm leaving a blank. What do I put in here in this parentheses?
Negative 7x.
Negative 7x plus 16, yes. Now, this negative 3x is not next to a parenthesis, so I just bring it down. So I have negative 3x, and I have to do hippity-hoppity distributive property. 5 times negative 7 is negative 35x. What's 5 times 16? 80. And it equals 4. All of this from here we should already know how to do. We're putting our x's together. I have negative 38x. Be careful, because if you make a mistake, what you're going to do is you're going to try and take positive 3x and stuff, but they're on the same side. So you just put them together the way they are right here. This says a negative 3 and a negative 35. Then you have plus 80 equals 4. Well, subtract 80 from each side. I get negative 38x equals negative 76. Ooh, does that work out evenly? Divide by negative 38. What is that? X equals 2. Are we done yet? No. Our solution, we have part of our solution. It's 2, but we don't know what our x number is. Okay, well, I'm going to take this equation right here and rewrite it. So I have y equals negative 7x plus 16. Well, what do I do now? I take this 2 and I'm going to put it right here in there for the x. Okay? So I have y equals negative 7 times 2 plus 16. Y equals negative 14 plus 16. Y equals 2. Okay? Where does what come from? Because you take the second equation, you substitute the 2 in there for x, which is negative 14 times, or negative 7 times 2, which is negative 14. And then negative 14 plus 6 is positive 2. I'm sorry, negative 14 plus 16 is positive 2. Okay? Here's the next one. Write down this problem. This is the last one we will do here together on this video. First, you look and see, is there an equation that's already written in y equals or x equals form? Yes, there is, so I'm going to circle what that is. Does it tell me to put it in for y or for x? For y, so I'm going to put it in here for y. So if I rewrite this equation, I have 8x minus 4 times y. Y, instead of y, we're going to write negative 8x minus 8. And bring down the rest of the equation equals negative 8. Okay? From here, this is just what we've done since the beginning of the semester. The 8x comes down. Now I have to do hippity-hoppity distributive property. Negative 4 times negative 8 is a positive 32x. Negative 4 times negative 8 is a positive 32. And this equals negative 8. Well, now what do you do? Put these two together. I get 40x plus 32 equals negative 8. Now subtract 32 from each side. I get 40x equals negative 40. Divide by 40. What does x equal? X equals negative 1. My solution is negative 1 and something. We don't know what the x is. I'm sorry, what the y is. Here's where it says y equals. I need to take that equation and move it over here and get y equals negative 8x minus 8. All right, well, I know what x is. X is negative 1. So go and put that right here for the x. Okay, so I have y equals negative 8 times x. Instead of x, it's negative 1 minus 8. Y equals negative 8 times negative 1 is a positive 8 minus 8. Y equals 0. There's my solution.